called Psychologists, which focuses on clinical as well as organizational and industrial psychology. So my big passion in life is groups. So with the groups we do corporate, so any form of corporate wellness. We do sports psychology, so we are the official mental performance coaches for the national cricket team, the Eagles. And then, of course, all my therapies are group therapy, so I do mindfulness-based stress reduction therapy and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, which is for addressing chronic pain, as well as anxiety, panic attacks, trauma, and then mindfulness-based cognitive therapy is specifically for the prevention of episodes of major depressive disorder. If you ask my mom, she said that when I was a kid, I always said I wanted to be a psychologist, so even when I was little. But the real reason is so many people of Namibia, when I was a kid, I was sexually traumatized, which made me a very angry teenager. Those kids just wear black. So I really did study psychology. I found my refuge in reading books about psychology and philosophy and all of that. So I naturally kind of fell into psychology. And then when I studied psychology, I really did find that it's my great passion. It really still is. I love everything about psychology, from clinical, all the fields of psychology. Well, my approach to therapy is for every client that walks in my door, I tend to tell them that you're going to leave with a diploma in psychology, because that's really how I also approach my learning. Is I want to understand it cognitively. And I always tell them, just so in case I get hit by a bus, that you know what to tell the next therapist in terms of what you did. So, I use a variety from cognitive therapy, CBT, mostly I do mindfulness-based cognitive therapies, and then I use Gestalt, I use a lot of existentialism, Viktor Frankl. So I like telling my clients, this is what we're doing, we're doing Beck's model of depression, so that there's an element of empowerment and that they really can buy in on what we are doing, why we are doing it. And I do believe that really helps with the success of therapy. What has really surprised me becoming a psychologist is really how rich people are in terms of their knowledge about themselves. Every person really is an expert about their lived experiences. So there's really no need for me to come with any solutions or really any wisdom. I don't have it. Really, people come with their own wisdom. It's really a process of helping them sort out the noise in their heads and find their own answers. And they almost always have the answers. If I could share anything with the world, it was to really understand that the brain is a muscle. So just like if you are exercising, if you start running, you will struggle running for the first day, but after a week you can run around the block, and after a month you can, run quite far. And mental health is exactly the same. So if you fall into a particular way of thinking, like depression, that's really your brain wiring. It's a particular muscle. And after a while of thinking sadly, it becomes more easier to do that. And in fact, it becomes quite difficult to not think that way. And it's the same for all mental disorders. So I wish the world could just understand that the brain is a muscle, and that it's not as easy to just shake off depression or just say it's just in your head. It is very much in your brain. And the quicker you seek help, the quicker you can be helped to think new ways of practicing your brain, so that you don't keep on running down those same pathways. If I could change anything about the field, it would be how much backing we got from the medical aids. I do not think that people understand mental health, and I think not just the medical aids, but most people think like if you've got a cold, you go to the doctor, he sees you once and he gives you pills and you go home. It's not the same with therapy. On average, I need about 6 to 8 sessions with a client, some more. My oldest client I've been seeing for 3 years. So I do wish that medical aids could understand that mental health takes work and it takes time and it takes effort, and for that we really do need more backing overall. Oh, I have so many. I'm an extrovert, so I'm very social. I do love my friends, I love going out, but I also do a lot with my personal time. So I'm an artist, I paint, I use string, I wool, I crochet, I garden. I'm very passionate about exercise, so I swim and I yoga. I meditate every single day of my life. So quite a lot of hobbies. I think it's really good to stay busy and to experiment with things that you can do or maybe cannot do. It makes you feel good about yourself, it makes you feel proud. So I do think it's really good to have hobbies. I think I have learned quite a lot from my hobbies. That's why I always tell my clients to find something that they can do. But I think particularly one thing that stood out for me, is, I said I love groups, and my hobbies I also tend to do in groups. I do a lot of art with my friends, and I had a crochet circle. And my friends, quite a few of them came to me afterwards and said, you know what a gift this has been, because I actually felt quite depressed. And learning how to crochet, it's just helped me really quiet my mind. So I think that is one thing that's so important about finding something we can immerse ourselves in. It just stops that cycle of overthinking and thinking too much. And I think that's valuable for whatever hobby that you end up pursuing. I do believe in being proactively self-loving. So I do think that self-care must feature before you are burnt out. So two things that I do not negate on, which is my meditation in the morning. I believe that meditation has saved my life, but it also keeps me calm proactively. And it's the same for exercise. I know if I don't exercise well, that I also don't sleep well and I feel irritable. So those are the two non-negotiables that I do every single day. But if I have had a stressful day, what I also do is I try to not withdraw, I socialize. And we do know that socialization helps your brain to produce oxytocin, and oxytocin is the body's natural antibody for stress. So I do go find people who I feel love me and that I love, and that generally helps me feel not so stressed. I would love to write a book about some of the clients that I've seen, the success stories, because a lot of people, a client asked me recently, isn't your work draining? Isn't it heavy? And there are definitely days, but mostly it's incredibly inspirational seeing just how people fight. So Viktor Frankl, he says, is the undefiable human spirit. And I have seen so many examples of exactly that. And I think it's really, truly inspirational, and I would love to make a film about that or a book about that, just really about how to never give up, always persist, make goals, learn how to believe in yourself and learn how to love yourself, and believing in yourself and loving yourself, how it can really just transform your approach to life and your life.